Welcome to the workshop. I'm Gerald, and today we're going to do something a little different. I've always been wanting to make a video talking about like the daily kit I carry on me, and I carry three things in particular. Okay, this is not an advertisement. This is just me chatting about like the little bit of entertainment gear, and I mostly just carry two things with me everywhere I go. I mean, I got my cell phone. I got myself a thing of headphones I use that my wife bought me as a gift to upgrade from the cheap $10 pair I keep racking up. And I carry two devices to pass my time whenever I'm out working, on the road, doing whatever. This is the first one. This is a Pocketbook Inkpad color, okay? And you can tell my daughter's been using it because it's showing Dragon Masters right now, which is what she's been using. I kind of ran into a problem. As you can see behind me, you can see I'm an avid book collector. For example, I got Dune here, and I have the Chinese copy of Dune here. I was planning on making a video talking about square word English or square word calligraphy, but I'm going to be honest, I don't have the editing ability, really. Even this, I'm just going to kind of cut and paste some music underneath whenever I'm saying, so hey. But yeah, so this right here is the Inkpad color. If you can't tell, it has a color screen. I have not charged it in over a month now, and it still has half the battery with backlight on, which is phenomenal. Well, this is my go-to reading device. I use it for all kinds of things, even books that were not really translated into English per se, which is one of my favorite use cases. You can find people dropping these technically unsanctioned, illegal downloads, but I mean, there's no other way to read the book, you know? Where they'll drop the PDF or EPUB on there. So, for example, let's look at, let me see what I can find for you real quick to talk about the Inkpad. Ooh, she zoomed in way too close. Alright, so I'm going to go in my library here. I'm going to leave my daughter's book section out because I have entire thing. Let's go to light novels. Light novels. I want to find some of the novels that never came to English. Perfect example. So if you guys know the anime Baka to Test, none of those light novels ever came out here, but there was a translation project for them. And so I downloaded the translations, and now I can read it in a handy book-like format, like so. Oh, the Inkpad Color 3, it cost me about $300. It is not a perfect device. I want to say that firsthand. And I do love the color screen, as you can see right here. It does work very, very well. Even the inserts are like perfectly in color. It does not reverse the formatting, unfortunately. So even if you open up a manga, so for example, I've been reading Siren lately, so let me cut to Siren. Let's see. Yeah, I read Siren upon years ago, and I really wanted to get back into it. Oh, here's a good example, actually. Instead of Siren, let's look at the Psycho-Pass manga, okay? Because this is, once again, another manga that never came here to America licensed in any way. We got the anime. Okay? And so... Oh, let me see if I got it. There you go, Psycho-Pass, the manga. And you can just swipe, and you kind of get the entire crux of the idea. But it doesn't... Ooh, that page wasn't safe. I did not realize they had those kind of adverts for other manga in there. But still. Oh, but either way, as you can see, it still requires you to swipe like an English book. But if it's formatted right, it will just simply go to the other page. And to be honest, I don't really find that a problem. I kind of wish I had to swipe reverse for manga, so you have the entire right to left feeling being more cohesive, but you're holding in it like this. That is if you get the cover, mind you. You got the extra cover. It's a little worn out because I use this thing to death. This is one of my most favorite devices. Let me see. How much memory does this thing actually have? It comes with a couple other bonus things. Things like it technically has a web browser. I would not use the web browser for anything. its voice to speech isn't bad. The store is crap on here. So what I always do is it has a feature where you can email books straight to the device, and I kind of do that. You know what I mean? And I also use it for the chess and solitaire it has on here, but it's like the most bare bone games system possible. So, like, for example, to show you, here's chess. Yeah, that's chess. That's the chess game right there, okay? It's really rudimentary. And it has a basic Klondike solitaire and Sudoku mode. So you can see I was playing solitaire. No custom graphics, because of course not. Even though this device could totally work with such a thing. Is there a way to add custom graphics? There is not. Of course there isn't. So all the apps on here are as bare bones as possible, okay? Which is kind of the point. It's meant to be a thing. Here's Sudoku puzzle app on it. It's meant for reading your books, you know what I mean? My biggest issue is that because it's a non-Android device, on one hand it saves a lot of power, okay? That's what I was talking about. Over a month and I haven't charged it, and it's only gone down half a battery, and I read on the same maybe an hour to 2 hours every single day. So that's phenomenal. You can't beat the battery life the Pocketbook Inkpad is offering. And to be frank, the color is great. It really does pop out. Well, because I had a huge thing where I'm a huge manga reader, okay? And I was afraid, here's the covers for Siren, by the way, to give you context, that when I would change it over to a digital device, I'm going to miss the tactile feeling of this. Sometimes I like to look at the cover illustration of a book. In light novels and manga, if they have color inserts, I like to look at them, and I felt like something was lost if I got a black and white device. Now, the technology for it's really, really cool. Apparently there's this type of filter that goes over it that makes it work. And I'm just basically saying, and if you've not swapped over to an e-ink device, I was against it for years upon years, do it. It is by far one of the most effective ways for you to save money. Does that make sense? You will save so much money that it will make your head turn. And for example, you buy one of the good example is I bought a collection of Asimov on here, okay? I have a collection of Asimov on here that I managed to find, and where did I find it? I don't think I bought it. I just found it. And some of the books on here I bought. It can be a bit of a pain in buying books for this. Some of them I just find like free downloads and I use on there. But like for every single one of the robot stories I've tried to buy, cost me what? It cost me $10, $15 for the reprints. What the hell, man? And meanwhile, right here, as you can see, complete Asimov, every single book and short story written, all in one spot. And like I said, I also use it for other things. And last but not least, I actually use it for my own book. Look, because I'm an author, here's my book right here, A Land Called Paradise. And so I can store my own novel on here and read it. I do have a copy of my own novel somewhere around the house. I never released a formal print copy. Here's the cover, by the way. Because I ultimately found that I could not format it correctly, and to be honest, I didn't know what I was doing when it came to page formatting. The EPUB came out fine, okay? Like, at the end of the day, the EPUB, well, as you can see right here, my daughter zoomed in a lot, but the EPUB formats A-OK on any device, because EPUB's a great format for that, okay? And yeah, man, so that's my Pocketbook Inkpad color. This is one of the mainstay go-to gadgets I always use whenever I go out and about. When I turn off it will default to the cover of the last time I did it. Now, that's not the default setting. It will have a nonsense setting in there that will tell you that, hey, we're going to show the logo. You can change that to the last cover of whatever you read, and that's what I changed it to. And so that's one half of my day-to-day kit. I carry by the way, the only reason I'm doing this via webcam and kind of rambling and freestyle, man, is because the other day I tried filming so hard, okay? I sat down, I tried to film myself with my Samsung like film all of my stuff. It didn't work. It was, my hand's too shaky, the lighting sucks in my room. This webcam is awful. And the only good thing I have is this Blue Yeti Snowball. And this is a Blue Yeti Snowball, dude. It's the cheapest microphone with okay audio quality you can pick up, you know? So, this right here. This is the Miyoo Mini Plus. I picked this up 2 years ago as my go-to gaming device when I'm on the go. Oh, essentially, I'm booting it up. You can see it come up. I slapped Onion OS on it. It came with a Chinese SD card preloaded with crap. And I do mean crap because it's like you can't figure out the games from that. So, for example, I'm going to hit game right here, okay? And I'm going to go to... Oh, it can emulate everything up to PSX, and technically it can do Nintendo DS, and it can also run Pico 8, which I've done a little bit, but it's like, I don't really get the appeal of Pico 8. Pico 8's great for the people who love Pico 8, but it just doesn't appeal to me. But it plays Super Nintendo, plays Game Boy Advance, and as you can see, it plays all of these systems here. It does not play this system. This was an experimental core that I tried to tinker with and slap on here for on-scripter games. If you don't know, on-scripter games are old visual novel games like Tsukihime, Kagetsu Toya. What other ones are on-scripter games? OMG WTF OTL, that's a classic on-scripter game. Games like that, okay? So classic, old-school games. It just doesn't work that well, okay? It really doesn't. It does have DS emulator on here, okay? I'm just going to tell you flat out, the number of DS games that are worthwhile to play on this is not much. One, the screen's too small for it. Two, it burns through your battery like there's no tomorrow. And three, your performance is kind of iffy on it, which is something you're never going to hear from any of these other YouTube videos I hear talk about the Miyoo, okay? They constantly sing the praises of the Miyoo, but I'm going to be honest, the Miyoo, while I have a very good soft spot for it, has issues. Like, there is no Game Boy Advance core on here that I have found that can play Final Fantasy IV Advance whatsoever, okay? It does do pretty well with most Pokemon ROM hacks, but there have been one or two I've tried out that have completely just broken the emulators on here and won't load. They just can't do it. It's abominable. But for other games, like if you're just playing Sonic Advance, or one of my favorites, this is one of my favorites from back in the day, Sigma Star Saga, it's the way to go. Also, you can get kind of weird software to work on here. For example, well, this is El Hazard, which it just kind of works in its own way. What I've been mostly doing with it lately is I've been going through Dragon Quest II, as you can see here. There's a little game switcher thing that creates a save state every time you leave it. I've also been playing a little bit of Innocent Sin, but I'm not that far into the game per se. I've tried Final Fantasy VII, but take a look at that font. Do you see how tiny that is? Even to the naked eye, this is a nightmare to read. I tried a Terrain Odyssey, but it buffers out too much. I have Pokemon Crystal Clear, which is like the open world Pokemon ROM hack, and that plays like a charm on here. I have also beaten... Oh, here's one of my favorite ones, okay? This is a Game Boy Color game for a game where you control a train in Japan, and that's the entire game. You just accelerate, decelerate, try to march it. I also play a ton of Fire Emblem ROM hacks on here, because why wouldn't I? Yeah, here's a good example. I tried experimenting with Moemon Star Emerald. It runs awfully on here. There is no core that can really run it, and at the end of the day, it kind of requires something with more juice, I feel, other than that. Other games like the Fire Emblem Gaiden Sacred Echoes ROM hack runs like a charm. So it's like, it's hard to tell what you're getting when you do you mess with this. And this is one of the few features I guarantee you most people who use this will not show you. But this thing runs RPG Maker games. Now, they're hidden way, way deep into the thing. But yeah, you can completely get these to go on here. They're the classic RPG Maker 2000 and 2003, I believe. Games can play on it. And I have played, the Gaming W. I have Dragon Fantasy on here, which is like a ripoff of Dragon Quest 3. But it's a cool thing to see. So, for example, I'm going to choose you. I'm going to choose a Sage. But as you can see, it can play a Game Boy Advance games, which is awesome. And it can play quite a few of them, too. I'm very impressed by the easy RPG emulator on here. It's very, very good. DOS. It can play a bit of DOS on here. I have gotten in Master of Orion to work. And I have played a ton of Master of Orion on here. The only issue is... Okay, nope. I need you to reset that. Sorry, I know this is going to be BS. As of me just trying to get this thing going, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's supposed to be Orion 2. So why are you not booting it? Okay, that's fine. Oh, right, because I had to change the settings to that. So in order to get DOS to work, you got to get really deep into RetroArch and such to play on here. Another feature I really love about this thing is that it has a video player. And on this tiny screen, 480p to 360p is perfect for it. So you don't need HD on here. So, for example, for a while there, I was trying to stock it up with anime that fit the time period of the device. But in the end, I ended up just kind of slapping on random shows and things I like. So, for example, I have, let's see here. So yeah, I have some School Rumble on here, for example. See, there you go. And it looks just fine on this little screen. The controls are really bare bones, though. And it's a little bit basic for what it is, but I also have every episode of Adoro Daisosen, and which is a severely underrated Japanese cop show from way back in the day that I'm a huge fan of. And I absolutely love those. Oh, so it's kind of what you make of it, dude. It really is. It is limited in what it can do. A lot of people are going to use it just to play Super Nintendo. I had every SMT game on here, or for like SMT 1, SMT 2, and SMT If. I'm a huge Shin Megami Tensei fan. I got the first Persona and Persona 2, both Innocent Sin and Tribulation. I haven't got around to those yet, though. No, mostly because I just get distracted by like, hey, I want to play this new ROM hack, and I slap it on there, and then I'm like, all right, let's go. Oh, and so I carry this little gadget with me wherever I go. I've had some issues with the battery. Okay, this battery is a little bit less reliable than it looks, and I'm going to tell you something. It does lie about how much juice it has. We're going to do a little bit of an autopsy here. If you pull this out, see that little cable way down there? Sometimes you got to jostle that cable, like right now, the cable's coming loose, I can see it, back into its port in order for the battery to actually receive a charge or function correctly. And I don't treat my devices that well. You can see it's kind of got a little chip here. I got 3 dead pixels on it in total, which is fine. And the volume rocker has had better days. But I mean, the Miyoo Mini Pocket, if you want like a handheld pocket emulating device that can do like your Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games really well. I mean, Sega Genesis too. I've played a ton of Shining Force on there. I grew up a huge Shining Force fanboy, so that's why. And it's kind of like a dream come true on those. But the real issue I have at the end of the day is that I really want to emulate and play things like PSP. I want to try to get into PlayStation 2. Things that are well and beyond far away from what the Miyoo Mini Plus can, okay? Now, 2 years ago, I got this on a very good discount for $40. Whereas the way I got it was that my wife bought it off a Chinese shop for me, and she ordered it direct. Most people would have to pay $50 to $60 the American prices. It's not worth $50, $60 now, okay? Hey, 2 years have passed, the handheld wars have been raging on, and there are better devices now. Just full stop. Ambernick has better devices. I don't know about the Miyoo Flip. I don't have brand loyalty in this case, okay? Whatever device works for me. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to say, if you can get it for $40, grab it. It's going to be great. You slap it in your pocket. It's going to be something to keep yourself busy. I take it whenever I go out fishing and I get bored because I haven't got a bite in a few hours. I just play a little bit of an RPG, make some progress. I play it on my lunch breaks or like random breaks at work because, I mean, look at the thing, man. It's tiny. It's itsy bitty cute. As far as like books, I highly recommend you get a reader. The color inks are very good. But try to get one like the Pocketbook Inkpad Color or 3. I like it a lot for what it is, but its web browser hardly works. The web browser's so old and so broken, and they haven't really updated it, that I kind of feel let down that it's basically going to be a product that will be outmoded. Just full stop. And I can keep downloading and transferring by connecting it to my computer. The email server thing that I have set up on it, which you can follow in the progress, is called a send to Pocketbook. Does work, but it only sends like files up to 4 or megabytes or 10 megabytes, something like that. Your mail has like a limit on how big the file you can email to it, and so it doesn't go past that. And as such, I would say for a time being, it's a great device, but there's something better that's going to come along, you know? But these two things, this is my daily tech kit that I carry with me everywhere. I just kind of wanted to make a video chatting about it and like talking about this little hobby of mine of collecting gimmicks and stumbling over words here. This is what happens when you work and then you try to record a video, dude. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about the small things I've picked up. And I always pick up like one gadget a year. So like the Pocketbook was my gadget last year. No, my gadget the year before last year. And the year before that, I picked up the Miyoo Mini. Last year, I picked up this laptop so I could start this channel up and actually start my recording. And this year, I'm saving up bit by bit to pick myself up a Xbox Ally X when they come out. That is going to be the most expensive gadget I've ever picked up, which I'm not looking forward to paying those prices. I wish I had a thing. So, forgive me for rambling on. I just want to tell you guys about these things I have, the things that I like to do, okay? And I hope you guys have a good day. I know this is a little bit different for the Workshopium, me just chatting like this and kind of expressing my thoughts about it. But yeah, like I was going to say, if you get this for $40, grab it. At Pocketbook, I spent $250 on this. It's not including the cover. I had to buy the cover for like $20 afterwards to make it have like this book cover and kind of latched in to the back end here. And I would say, was it worth it? I think I've gotten my money's worth out of this, but I think that in the near future there will be other third parties offering these color books, hopefully with Android with color e-ink. Does it make sense? And that way you can actually have a more modern operating system working in conjunction with it, because the homebrew Linux thing they have on it is like, they're not updating it. It's not being updated. And that's kind of a dead end for it, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I suggest all of you guys to get yourself your own daily kit for things, okay? Hey, and just take care. This has been Gerald from the Workshopium. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, okay? Bye!